What were you doing on the 7th of June 2023? Was it just another ordinary day work? School, scrolling through your phone? Because for the rest of the football world, that day detonated like a bomb. Lionel Messi, the greatest player of our generation, announced he was leaving European football behind.
Messi no va a hacer nada con Inter de Miami.
Messi, en momentos de adversidad, qué lejos estás de Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, I just think he's not a leader. He's not a leader at 1-1.
Yo he sentido lástima al verlo jugar hoy. Este Messi ya no le da, es que no le da.
Luego, por último, la otra pregunta clave, tras saber que no volverás al Barcelona, ¿hacia dónde se encaminan tus pasos? ¿A Arabia, que se ha dicho también? ¿A Miami?
No,
¿A otro sitio?
no. Tomé la decisión de que voy a ir a Miami. Todavía no tengo cerrado 100%, nos faltan algunas cosas, pero bueno, decidimos continuar el camino.
Messi!
Just for Messi's arrival. This is massive. It's impossible to really overstate just how big this is going to be.
Lionel Messi around Zimmerman. Messi! He is inimitable!
Aplaudo la MLS porque la clavó en un ángulo. Golazo de la MLS. Lo que hizo realmente en conseguir a Messi termina siendo espectacular.
Messi!
We have such a diverse culture, and now we have one of the world's greatest players, if not the world's greatest player to ever play the game in our city, in our club.
Messi settles, and that's it! Ties the MLS Cup, and it's over! Number 10, Lionel Messi! Your League's Cup 2023 champion in Miami, to enjoy. The goal achieved. Inter Miami champions of Major League Soccer.
Messi's arrival could not have been timed more perfectly. He touched down in Miami just as a brand new tournament, the League's Cup, was being born. A strange little experiment where MLS and Liga MX clubs would collide across the United States in groups of 3, racing through an entire knockout journey in barely a month. It felt like a miniature World Cup stitched together with ambition and chaos. The perfect playground for a man who had just conquered Qatar. And of course, Messi treated it exactly like that. 7 matches, 10 goals, and the unmistakable sense that something mythical was awakening in the pink shirt of Inter Miami. His debut as a scriptwriter's fantasy come to life. Cruz Azul, coached by the legendary Riccardo Tuca Ferretti, dominated from the first whistle.
Now underway, the 2023 Leagues Cup. Inter Miami and Cruz Azul.
They had chance after chance to bury Miami, to remind everyone that this team, this fragile, broken side, only knew how to lose. But football has a way of holding its breath when destiny steps onto the pitch. And when the number 10 walked in, the atmosphere changed.
Welcome, the world's number 10.
It wasn't noise, it wasn't expectation. It was a feeling, the quiet certainty, that something extraordinary was coming. By the 87th minute, Cruz Azul still controlled everything.
Cruz Azul, Christian Tabo. Oh, calendar again!
But in the 92nd, they made the one mistake you simply do not make when Lionel Messi is present. They fouled him just outside the box, on the edge of the D,
Joseph Martinez into Messi.
as if offering him an invitation. The stadium froze. David Beckham, hands clasped, eyes glassy with nerves, watched the greatest player alive cradle the ball with a calmness that didn't make sense for the moment. The score was 1-1. The pressure was crushing. And yet, Messi looked as if he was stepping into a memory he had lived 1,000 times. Then came the timestamp that Miami will remember forever. 93 minutes and 47 seconds. Messi curled the free kick into the top corner. Perfect. Impossible. Inevitable. Beckham's tears spilled, and their next opponent, Atlanta United, where the legend would only grow. Messi's first start for Inter Miami felt less like a football match and more like the opening chapter of a fairy tale being written in real time. Only 7 minutes had passed when he struck the opener, the stadium still settling into its seats, as Robert Taylor, his unlikely but brilliant partner in the League's Cup, slipped him the perfect pass. Messi didn't hesitate. He simply guided the ball home, as if reminding everyone that magic doesn't need warming up. By the time the scoreboard read 30 in the 53rd minute, Messi had flipped the story once again. This time he turned provider, bursting across the pitch on a blistering counter-attack, carrying the ball with that effortless glide before releasing it at the exact millimetre that Robert Taylor needed. The Finn took the touch, shaped his body, and curled it past the keeper. Another chapter written, another stadium stunned. Miami finished the group stage with all 6 points, top of their group, a position no one had dared imagine just weeks before. And then came the round of 32. The Florida derby against Orlando, a match soaked in rivalry and pressure. Messi didn't walk into that pitch. He stormed into it. From the first whistle, he fought for every ball with a fire that told the league he wasn't here for holidays. In the 6th minute, Taylor sent in a cross, and Messi, somehow ghosting behind defenders who had been marking him a second earlier, chested the ball down with divine control right on the penalty spot. A heartbeat later, he smashed a volley into the net, a goal so clean it felt predestined. But the night didn't stop there. In the 72nd minute, Taylor and Josef Martinez stitched together a move that sliced Orlando open, laying the ball perfectly for Messi to strike yet another volley, sealing a 3-1 win and pushing Miami deeper into a dream that no one expected to last this long. And the next team standing in front of Messi's path, Dallas, where the story would take an even wilder turn. Against Dallas, Leo Messi slipped into his Barcelona skin once more, not metaphorically, but truly, as if he had opened a hidden drawer in time and pulled out the version of himself that terrorised Europe for a decade. His first goal was a mirror of that iconic Alba-Messi connection at the Santiago Bernabeu, a delayed cutback, perfectly weighted, and Messi arriving with one touch to tuck the ball into the bottom corner, calm as ever, precise as always. But then the match descended into pure chaos. Dallas surged ahead 3-1.
Velasco will serve, driven towards sled shot!
Miami looked shaken, and yet the apprentice, young Benjamin Cramashi, pulled one back on 65 minutes to make it 3-2. Moments later, at 67, Robert Taylor accidentally scored an own goal, and suddenly the night felt doomed. But doom is a feeling that rarely sticks when Messi is on a pitch. At the 85th minute, Leo whipped in a cross so vicious that it forced an own goal, dragging Miami back to life. And then came the moment that froze every breath inside the stadium. Dallas committed the same sin as Cruz Azul. They gave Messi a free kick near the edge of the box. All eyes locked on the number 10. The silence felt identical to that night against Liverpool in the Champions League. And so did the shot. Messi curled it in with impossible perfection, levelling the match 4-4, turning despair into disbelief once again. In the penalty shootout, it was Kremaski, the apprentice himself, who struck the decisive kick, sending Miami into the quarter-finals.
It's over and Miami is through. He does!
Next up, Charlotte. Charlotte never stood a chance. Miami's pink fury exploded with a ruthless 3-0 before Messi even needed to intervene. And then, in the 86th minute, Leo Campana slid a pass across goal, and Messi arrived to tap it in with effortless certainty. A fourth goal, a fourth chapter. Miami, a team once considered hopeless, were suddenly in the semi-finals of the League's Cup. Under Messi, under Tata Martino, they had become one of the last four standing, and awaiting them was the strongest team on paper, the Philadelphia Union, leaders of MLS in 2023. But Miami didn't blink. They dominated from the opening whistle. Josef Martinez scored a stunning goal in the 3rd minute, and then Messi produced something truly unprecedented, the longest goal of his entire career, a strike from 32 metres that roared into the net like a comet. Alba added another with a Messi assist from midfield. Miami scored a 4th before halftime, and to finish the masterpiece, Messi created the chance for David Ruiz to net his first goal of the tournament. The impossible had happened again. Messi had carried Miami into a final, a scenario no one would have believed just weeks earlier, and waiting for him, for the title, for the culmination of the miracle, Nashville. The final felt like a storm waiting to break. Every touch, every pass, carried the weight of a club desperate for its first taste of glory. 22 minutes in, the ball spilled loose from Benjamin Kremaski at the edge of the box, and Messi pounced. He glided past Walker Zimmerman, as if the defender were nothing more than a training cone, opened up just enough space for his left foot and bent the ball into the top corner with that familiar, devastating ease. The first goal of the night and the first spark of belief. Nashville struck back in the 56th minute with a towering header, and suddenly the match slipped into a knife-edge rhythm. Then came the moment that froze every heartbeat. In the 92nd minute, Sergio Busquets delivered the pass of the tournament, a majestic ball that left Leo Campana completely alone against the keeper. Campana sprinted forward, shaped his body, and smashed the shot off the post. Time stopped. Messi held his head. The stadium held its breath. The world blinked in disbelief. Miami had brushed against glory and missed it by inches. Penalties followed, long and torturous, stretching into a duel of wills that felt endless. Shot after shot, conversion after conversion, until finally it was goalkeeper Drake Callender who stepped up, struck, and then saved to seal a 10-9 victory. Inter Miami, a team born struggling, stumbling, nearly forgotten, had just lifted their first trophy in club history. Messi had done the impossible. He had taken a team with no identity, no confidence, no pulse, and turned them into champions. And in that moment, the United States and the world saw the truth. Messi had not come to Miami to rest. He had come to conquer, to compete, to transform. As Pep Guardiola once said, and now America had witnessed exactly what that meant. The GOAT had arrived, and he was nowhere near finished. Leo Messi barely had time to breathe. 1 week after lifting the League's Cup, he had to switch instantly into MLS mode because Inter Miami, hungry, desperate, reborn, wanted to ride the wave of their miracle run and reach the playoffs. And so came his MLS debut against the New York Red Bulls, a match that felt like the opening act of a new chapter. Messi didn't just score, he crafted the most beautiful goal of the entire season, combining in a mesmerizing triangle with Jordi Alba and Benjamin Kramaski, before sliding the ball into the net as if painting a signature across the league. In the following matches, Miami drew with Nashville, and then came one of the most anticipated nights in American football, Messi and Inter Miami facing Carlos Vela's LAFC. Under the Hollywood lights, Leo played conductor, delivering 2 outrageous assists and guiding Miami to a 3-1 win that shook the city and electrified the country. Everything pointed upwards. Everything felt unstoppable. But then tragedy arrived. A muscular injury, cruel, sudden, unavoidable, sidelined Messi for 6 of the final 9 league games. Without him, Miami's magic evaporated. They managed only 2 more wins, slipping down the table, and eventually fell short of the playoffs. The dream ended not with a crash, but with a slow, painful fade. Yet Messi is not a man who accepts unfinished stories, not a man who settles for what might have been. And so, in 2024, he and Inter Miami returned with a mission, not just to compete, but to rewrite the league's history entirely. And that's when the real transformation began. What unfolded in 2024 felt like a season written by a storyteller who had finally lost all fear of sounding unbelievable. Inter Miami didn't just win games, they shattered the record for the most points in an MLS regular season, finishing with an astonishing 74 points, one more than the New England Revolution's legendary 2021 run. And when this Miami team decided to win, they didn't tiptoe past their rivals, they steamrolled them. Yet the season wasn't always this cinematic. It began like a storm gathering strength, shaky at first, unpredictable, and even Messi, with all his brilliance, couldn't guarantee the engine would ignite. But once it did, Miami didn't only rise, they left everyone else behind. This transformation wasn't magic falling from the sky. It was crafted by hands that already knew how to build dynasties. Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba recreated the soul of FC Barcelona in the heart of Miami, blending experience with instinct, memory with ambition. But it wasn't just the veterans, it was also the young blood. Diego Gomez, Benjamin Kramaski, Tomas Aviles, each stepped forward, fearless, embracing the weight of expectation and turning it into fuel. And Messi, well, Messi was Messi. At 37, he showed once again that his rules are not the rules of ordinary athletes. 20 goals and 16 assists in 19 matches is absurd on paper, but the numbers barely scratch the surface. It was his leadership, his joy, his gravitational pull that transformed every match. He opened the season with an assist to Robert Taylor against Real Salt Lake, and in week 2, he saved Miami with a heroic 91st minute goal against LA Galaxy after combining with Jordi Alba like the old days. Suarez deserves his flowers too, or maybe a statue. In the Florida derby against Orlando, Messi and Suarez dismantled their rivals with 2 goals each in a brutal 5-0 display. But football never allows a perfect script. Week 4. Messi wasn't called up for the match against Montreal, a 3-2 defeat, and soon after injuries returned to haunt him. He missed 3 games. Miami beat DC United 3-1, were crushed 4-0 by the Red Bulls, and drew 1-1 with New York City. Then the GOAT awoke. What followed was one of Messi's greatest runs in an Inter Miami shirt, 15 goal contributions in 5 matches, 7 goals, 8 assists. Sheer madness. It began with a long-range strike against Colorado drilled into the far post with surgical precision. Then came Kansas City. Messi threaded a ridiculous pass through 3 defenders for Diego Gomez, then scored an outrageous top corner goal. Minutes late,
Ruiz and Messi! Messi!
Miami won 3-2 thanks to a late Suarez strike in the 70th minute.
Gomez takes it off of Davis. Gomez, back post, Suarez!
Week 10 brought Nashville a familiar victim. They scored first, but Messi responded immediately in the 10th minute.
Messi into the penalty area. Still Messi goes to his left. Big save for Panico. Super one-handed foot. Messi.
Then assisted Busquets with a brilliant near-post corner in the 38th.
We'll be worried about that one. Panico's beaten.
And later buried a penalty to complete the 3-1 comeback. After that, Miami demolished New England 4-1 on Leo's back goals in the 30th and 67th minutes.
All the way through to Messi. They've done.
Then an exquisite assist for Suarez in the 87th, a rocket into the angle. And then came 4th May 2024, a date that deserves its own chapter in MLS history.
To level the game at 1.
Inter Miami destroyed the New York Red Bulls 6-2, but Messi participated in every single goal. 5 assists, 1 goal. Miami Heat trailed early, Rojas equalised with a thunderbolt.
Matias Rojas centrally shoots and fires.
And then the Messi show began, a goal at 49.
The chaos played ahead, quick shot fired, goal!
A scoop assist to Rojas at 61.
The return from Messi. Messi plays that through, here's Rojas flag down!
A whip cross for Suarez's scissor kick at 68.
Already tonight. Able to play this across.
A perfect 1-2 to free Suarez again at 74.
In 3 weeks. Named player of the month on Thursday, and look at what he's doing tonight. The return from Suarez. Luis Suarez again!
And finally the 80-minute assist where Suarez rounded the keeper and finished with elegance. 5 assists, 1 match, pure madness. After that, Messi had only 6 matches before departing for the Copa America, skipped the 0-0 versus Orlando, played all 90 minutes in a 1-0 win over DC United, was rested in the win over Vancouver, scored in the defeat to Atlanta,
Busquets to Messi, a chance for Lionel Messi! Off!
and netted the opener in a 3-3 draw against St. Louis.
Jordi Alba, back to Messi!
Then the break came 9 matches missed, 5 because he went to win the Copa America with Argentina, and 4 more after a ligament injury in the final.
Messi, James jugando al frente, Lucho. Viene Lucho en la conducción, le tapa muy bien Enzo en el rebote.
And here's the most shocking part. Miami won 8 of those 9 matches without him. Only 1 defeat. An echo of a team that had learned to breathe Messi's mentality. But on 14th September 2024, against Philadelphia Union, the GOAT returned. 7 matches remained and Messi played every single one of them, as if he were stitching the final chapters of a novel he refused to leave unfinished. His return came against the Philadelphia Union, and within minutes he reminded everyone exactly who he was. With a ruthless cut inside the box, he sat his defender on the grass and buried the opener. 5 minutes later, Jordi Alba rolled a pass to the penalty spot, and Messi, with the softest of touches, guided the ball into the net. Before halftime, he dropped deep near the edge of the box, opened his body, and slid a perfect pass to Suarez, who curled an outrageous finish into the top corner. Miami were alive again because Leo was alive again. Week 34 brought another piece of magic. In the 66th minute, Messi unleashed a rocket from outside the box, rescuing a crucial point and pushing Inter Miami within 1 match of securing the supporters' shield. And then the date arrived. 2nd October 2024. Inter Miami versus Columbus Crew. A victory would crown the Herons as the best team of the MLS regular season. And of course, the man who always showed up again. At the 44th minute, Messi weaved through defenders in a sequence reminiscent of Julian Alvarez's goal against Croatia, smashing in the opener. Seconds before halftime, he curled a sublime free kick into the top corner. Miami won 3-2 and made history. The worst team in MLS had officially become the best team of 2024. By now, Miami had fully absorbed Messi's DNA. The Pink Fury was no longer satisfied with trophies, they wanted legacy. They wanted to become the greatest regular season team in MLS history. To do that, they needed 2 more wins. First came a narrow 1-0 over Toronto, and then on 19th October 2024, they faced New England. And that night, the GOAT stepped forward once again. Miami fell 2-0 behind. Suarez clawed the match back with 2 lethal strikes. Then, with a breathtaking combination between Messi, Alba and Kremaski, the young American fired in the third, and from minute 77 onward, the stadium witnessed a Messi masterclass. First, a long-range missile into the far corner. 3 minutes later, a clever dart behind the last line and a cool, surgical finish. And finally, in the 88th minute, Suarez floated an outrageous cross, and Messi arrived at the back post to tap in his hat-trick. With that victory, Miami broke the all-time MLS record for points in a season 74, one more than the legendary 2021 New England Revolution. When this team decided to win, nobody, absolutely nobody could stop them. But football is cruel. The best teams do not always win. In their first knockout match of the MLS playoffs, Messi and Miami were eliminated by Atlanta, a devastating blow for Leo and for Tata Martino. Days later, the Argentine manager presented his resignation, and into the heart of the Pink Fury stepped a familiar face, a warrior Messi trusts like a brother. Javier Mascherano arrived to take the helm. In 2025, Lionel Andres Messi and Inter Miami lived a year carved into the stone of football history. David Beckham's project didn't just evolve, it exploded.
From Alba, Suarez at the far post if he can find him. Alba chips that cross towards the far post. Not fully cleared. Back in, Messi's gone.
Miami competed in 4 different tournaments and played 60 matches, the most games any North American franchise had ever played in a single season. And the astonishing part, they weren't passengers, they were protagonists in every competition. In the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Messi delivered a Continental masterclass. 5 goals, 1 assist, and a level of dominance that pushed Miami past Sporting Kansas City.
Lifts one over the top, taken down by Messi. Leo Messi!
And LAFC.
Leo!
All the way into the semi-finals. There, the journey stalled against the Vancouver Whitecaps. But Messi's glow across the tournament was undeniable. Then came the Club World Cup, where Inter Miami wrote a chapter CONCACAF had never imagined possible. They became the first team in CONCACAF history to defeat a UEFA opponent in an official tournament, thanks to a Messi wonder goal against Porto.
It's Messi time! Messi!
They held Palmeiras to a dramatic 2-2 draw in a spectacle of footballing chaos and courage.
Luis Suarez. It's past 1 or 2. Luis Suarez still for Inter Miami.
And eventually fell in the knockout stage to Luis Enrique's Champions League winning PSG.
He's Barcola. Hakimi off the
But by then, Miami had already changed the conversation around American football worldwide. In the League's Cup, the Pink Fury returned to the final once more. Messi opened the competition with 2 assists against Atlas.
Taken here by Alba. Plays it centrally. Messi is there. Messi for Suarez. Back for Lionel. Messi plays it across. Oh my!
And delivered 2 goals in the semi-final against Orlando.
Saddles. Jordi Alba in. Messi!
Proving, again, that whenever the lights intensified, the number 10 burned brighter. But where Messi's legend reached its peak, where he crafted pure, unquestionable history, was in MLS. Inter Miami dominated the 2025 MLS season from the first whistle to the last. Not only did they lift the league title, they also shattered the record for the most goals scored in a single MLS campaign, 101. Messi contributed 35 goals and 23 assists, numbers so outrageous they feel fictional, and was crowned MLS MVP without a sliver of doubt. He opened the season exactly as he finished the previous one, being the man Miami trusted in the clutch. He delivered 2 early assists and, in week 1, slipped a perfect pass in the 99th minute to secure a dramatic draw for Mascherano's side. Then came the goals, a hat-trick of brilliance across 3 consecutive matches. The first came against Atlanta United. Messi pressed, stole the ball at the edge of the box, left a defender on the floor, and chipped the keeper with surgical calmness. The second arrived at Chase Stadium against Philadelphia, where Messi humiliated his marker with a Boateng-style cut inside before firing a lethal low shot across goal. And the third, a masterpiece, a 180-degree spin outside the box, a defender evaporating in front of him, and a thunderous strike into the roof of the net. He added 2 more goals against New York and Minnesota. The New York strike a poetic volley after a sequence of lightning-fast 1-2s with Segovia. And the Minnesota goal, a lone spark on a night where Miami fell 4-1. Then came the Club World Cup break. Miami Miami travelled, competed, suffered and returned home bruised but hungry. And what Messi did after the World Cup had no precedent in the history of Major League Soccer. What Lionel Andres Messi did after returning from the Club World Cup was beyond extraordinary. It was something football in North America had never seen. 15 goal contributions in 6 matches. Let that sink in. No player in the history of MLS, no footballer in the entire CONCACAF region had ever produced a run like this. It wasn't form, it wasn't momentum, it was Messi slipping into a dimension only he has access to. The chaos began with a 3-3 draw against Philadelphia, where Messi curled in a stunning free kick, a reminder that for him, bending reality is simply a trained habit. Then came Montreal, and Lionel detonated. 2 goals and an assist. The first strike arrived in the 26th minute, another long-range missile that skipped past the keeper. His assist came from a clever lofted pass to Suarez, who chipped it over the goalkeeper. But his second goal? That was pure arrogance in its most beautiful form. Messi stood face to face with the keeper after a 1-2, waited, and then lifted the ball over him with the calm of a man pouring himself a coffee. And then the beast truly woke up. 2 goals and 2 assists in the next match. The first assist went to Lionel Messi, saw the pass a full second before anyone else did. His first goal came after a horrific mistake from the goalkeeper, who handed him the ball outside the box. Messi lifted it delicately into the top corner. His second goal was another chipped finish at the keeper's feet, as if he were practicing in his backyard. His final assist was outrageous from his own half. Messi threaded a ball through the entire defence, leaving Fafa Picault alone to bury the 5th goal. And when Inter Miami faced Montreal again, it was another demolition, a 4-1 victory, with Messi contributing 2 goals and 1 assist. The first was a brilliant passing sequence. The second was vintage Messi. He picked up the ball, danced through 5 defenders who could only watch helplessly, and finished coolly past the keeper. It was almost comical how easily he erased an entire defence. Next came Nashville and New England, both victims of Messi's wrath. He scored a brace against each of them. Against New England, his first was a gift from the defence.
Goes long, Allende. Sees it played back off.
But his second was breathtaking. A sprint into space, a perfect body angle, and a strike across the keeper from outside the box.
He's ahead. Messi on the run. Lionel Messi.
Against Nashville, he delivered his 5th consecutive brace, starting with another absurd free kick and completing the double thanks to yet another goalkeeper giveaway that he punished mercilessly. Messi's end to the season wasn't just brilliant, it was brutal, surgical, the kind of domination that only appears when a team learns from its past failures. Inter Miami had once collapsed at the finish line, but not this time. This year, their best version arrived exactly when it mattered most, and the New York Red Bulls were the first witnesses of that storm. In the 23rd minute, Messi split the defence with a pass so perfect it felt drawn with a compass, leaving Jordi Alba free to score. Then, in the 59th minute, Messi slipped in behind the backline, rounded the goalkeeper with the ease of a man jogging through a park, and buried his first of the night. His second arrived shortly after another clever run, another one battle for space, and a ruthless volley into the roof of the net. Against LA Galaxy, Messi reminded the entire league that he is unguardable. He danced through defenders as if they were mannequins and whipped a long-range strike into the net. And at the 88th minute, he produced a moment of pure artistry, a magical backheel to Suarez, leaving the Uruguayan alone against the keeper to finish the job. With the playoffs approaching, Leo shifted into a higher gear. Seattle Sounders were next, and in the 11th minute, Messi demonstrated his genius. Every defender rushed toward on him, so he simply fed the completely unmarked Jordi Alba, who scored effortlessly. And Alba repaid the favour in the 40th minute with a perfect cross that Messi dispatched like the predator he is. Then came DC United, and Messi put on the cape. First, he launched a sensational long ball from his own half to Allende, who finished cleanly for the opener. Messi's first goal arrived in the 65th minute. His second in the 84th, a glorious curled shot into the top corner that made the stadium erupt. Leo didn't stop there. Against New York City FC, he scored another brace and added an assist. His first came from an explosive run in behind the kind people said he no longer had at his age.
Great substitutions. Break coming in. He'll help control the midfield.
Busquets, great idea into Messi. Messi for 2. Messi!
And the second was a masterpiece, leaving a defender frozen with those trademark body feints before smashing the ball home.
Difference tonight.
Well kept in play. Messi, on he goes. Messi!
As the season reached its final breath, Messi entered full GOAT mode. 3 assists against New England.
Here comes Messi. Oh, magic!
2 goals and an assist against Atlanta.
Playoff Game 3 win. Here comes Messi after the takeaway.
And then against Nashville, a hat-trick and an assist.
Messi settling, keeping control. Messi!
A night so violent, so majestic, it felt like Messi was writing the laws of the league from scratch. And Messi in GOAT mode heading into the playoffs could only mean one thing: total destruction. Messi's playoff run wasn't just extraordinary, it was historic. 6 goals and 9 assists across the postseason, a playoff record, 15 goal contributions, a number so absurd it feels like fiction. No one in the history of MLS had ever produced a run like this. Messi didn't just rise to the occasion, he rewrote what the occasion could be. It began in round 1. A towering header from a Luis Suarez cross opened his account, and in the final seconds of the match, he punished a defensive blunder to seal his brace. In the return leg, Nashville beat Miami 2-1, but Messi once again carried Beckham's club. He scored a magnificent solo goal, drifting past his marker like he was walking past a child, ironic because that same defender, Edvard Sandvik, had mocked Messi's age just minutes before. Messi answered with a nutmeg heard across the football world. Then came the decisive match of round 1. Messi slipped into World Cup mode, and Miami annihilated Nashville 4-0. Messi scored twice and added an assist. At the 9th minute, he picked up a loose ball near the halfway line, sprinted past 4 defenders who couldn't even foul him, and smashed in a rocket from the edge of the box. His second was a beautiful finish after a stunning pass from Zilbetti. And then, to close the night in style, Messi sent a surgical through ball from his own half to Allende, who lifted the ball over the keeper for the 4th goal. The quarter-finals arrived, and the Messi-Zilbetti duo struck again in the 18th minute. The young Argentine sent in a perfect cross, and Messi launched into a majestic header. At minute 56, Messi returned the favour with a pass that felt like a penalty in motion, which Zilbetti finished with billiard precision. Then came another Messi special, a long ball into space for Allende to score. And if that weren't enough, Messi delivered an outrageous trivela at minute 73, again freeing Allende for another goal. 3 assists and a goal, a masterpiece of orchestration. The semi-final was another demolition, Miami 5-1 NYCFC. Messi assisted Allende's 4th goal, and with that, he became the all-time assist leader in MLS history. Another record swallowed whole. Then came the moment the reason Inter Miami signed the greatest player of all time, the 2025 MLS Cup final. A tense battle, tight, suffocating, until minute 7. Messi slipped a perfect pass to Rodrigo de Paul, who released Allende into space. The cross came in and forced an own goal. Vancouver equalised in the 59th minute, tension rising like smoke. But at minute 70, Messi delivered the pass that changed everything, threading De Paul through on goal, and RDP finished with ice in his veins. The sky turned pink. And then, at minute 95, the final minute of Jordi Alba's career, he sent a long pass to Messi. Leo controlled it on his chest, didn't let it touch the ground, and played Allende through again. One touch with the head, a stride forward, and a calm finish into the net, 3-1. Inter Miami, champions of the United States. The season's aftermath was inevitable. Messi was officially crowned the 2025 Landon Donovan MLS MVP, becoming the first player in league history to win back-to-back MVP awards.
Oh, it's shocker.
Right?
Well,
yeah.
What does that have to do with your watch? Well, just like we're announcing it now. It should have been announced a long time ago.
Automatically or what?
I mean,
Golden boot?
did anybody have an objection to it being Lionel Messi? Did we think it was going to be somebody else?
Ale?
Well, who are the finalists? It doesn't matter. It's a fair question.
He joined elite company with Preki as the only 2-time MVP winner, but Messi's dominance was unprecedented. He earned more than 70% of the vote, sweeping media, players, and club officials. He is the only player in MLS history with multiple seasons of at least 36 goal contributions.
Otra asistencia más. Siempre quedo ahí atento a correr para que me dé un pase Leo y bueno, me tocó otra vez, me tocó anotar de vuelta y estoy muy contento por sumar de vuelta. Muy feliz, esto es quedar en la historia. Contento, a disfrutarlo.